Alright guys, today we're replacing the cabin air filter on the Raptor. Now this is for the actual Raptor, but this applies to all late model F150s. So 2015 or newer, it's the same procedure. So let's go ahead and check it out. Okay, so the cabin air filter actually sits right behind the glove box. Now, some people think you can just kind of go in there and pull it out, but unfortunately you can't actually get it back in correctly. So we're actually going to show you how to remove these pieces. It's really, really simple, and how to do the actual replacement. So first things first, gotta clean up my mess in my glove box. Alright, for this job, you're only going to need two tools. You're going to need a plastic pry tool, and you're going to need a 7mm. It can be a socket or whatever you want to use. Okay, next we got to remove this little plastic trim piece. It's super easy to remove, it just kind of pops off. Okay, next we're going to need to remove this little trim panel right here. Just wait for it to pop. And then just got to make sure you pop them and then pull it off to the side. Now these are the two bolts that we need to take off. This one right here and this one right there. These are just 7mm bolts, just like everything else on this truck. Okay, then it's just a matter of popping this piece off. It does require a little bit of force, so don't be scared to give it some gas. Now you don't actually have to remove this piece completely. Like there's a little connector right there. You don't have to remove that. You can just kind of slide this off to the side. You could also remove the glove box, let it swing down, but you don't have to. You know, it's just easy to do it this way. That little honeycomb thing is the actual filter cover. See these two clips? There's a clip on this side, clip on that side. You kind of have to get those out first. And then it just kind of pops out. There's our filter right there. So this is the filter we took out. It's been in there about 2 to 3 months. I usually, because I do a lot of off-roading, I try to replace this every quarter. Regular use, you're probably looking about once a year. But just to give you an example how caked this one is, that's a clean one right there. It gets caked up pretty easy. So when you do put the new filter back in, see how there's that little groove right there? Right, it goes in that bottom piece under that little spacer there to make sure that it gets a proper seal. The filter has these little flaps on it, right, to kind of tell you how to install it. And the best way to show you how to install it is put the writing up, right? So it has some writing on it. When you put it in there, put it so that the writing's up and sitting like that, so that these little flaps right here do a proper seal, and then this little thing is sticking up. You do have to kind of jab it in there because of the way the flaps show up in there. But once it's in, you'll see it kind of sticks up a little bit. That's the way it's supposed to be on there, right, with little flaps and everything. Now when you put this in, see these, make sure you get these two little tabs in at the bottom. I've noticed when the dealer does it for me, they constantly screw up and don't get those tabs in, so it doesn't get a proper seal. So we get the bottom clips in first, just like that, and then just go up. Make sure both of your sides clipped in, and you're good. And that's it. Try to put it back together. So, and that's it. It really is easy to work on these trucks. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you want to do this, you know, based on how much you actually go out on the trails. If you go out on the trails as much as I do, sometimes you end up replacing it every month. Most people that will never see a trail, you probably want to replace them once a year or so. It's actually in the service interval. For every other oil change, I think they have you replace it. The actual filter itself is kind of expensive. I think it's $28, but it's a simple install and you can do it yourself. Alright guys, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, go ahead and give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We got a couple cool videos coming up here pretty soon. My truck just hit 50,000 miles, so that means I got to do shocks, I got to do differential oil, so a lot of good how-to videos coming.